I called it. I absolutely called it. To all of you who said that I was wrong, I called it. 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 Carolina and Tex. I didn't call Tex. I didn't expect to see Tex at all. That was awesome. But Carolina and Tex. And all of Project Freelancer, in a sense, are responsible for the death of Biff. Holy crap! This episode 13 of season 15 for Red vs. Blue, this episode was all over the map. It was great. I loved this episode. This might be my favorite episode so far of the season. It was like, episode 10 is up there, but this one, in character development, giving us the motivation. I called it on the motivation. I absolutely called it. Yes! I'm going to move this camera just a little bit because I'm off center. That's my favorite line to say today. I called it! Oh, and this was a great episode. So it starts off up at Project Freelancer, and we get to see the director. We haven't seen him for 4 seasons. We went 4 seasons without seeing him. He died in season 10. And it's great to see him again. It just really is. For those of you who say it's been 5 seasons, it's like, it hasn't been a full 5 seasons yet. Not until the end of the season. So I count it as like 4.5. But we get that Carolina is being placed on blue team, while Tex is being placed on red team. And they're in a capture the flag bit. And apparently both sides need both flags to win, obviously. And it just kind of shows the antics of Carolina with the Blues, Tex with the Reds. Well, not really Tex with the Reds. We didn't really get that. But something that kind of bugs me is that Tex's voice is not actually here, which I did hear a rumor quite a while back that Kathleen, I can't pronounce her last name, and I know what it is, but I can't pronounce it for the life of me, but I heard that she no longer works at Rooster Teeth, so maybe they couldn't get her in to do the voice for Texas. I don't know. But this episode, a lot of action, a lot of back and forth. I think one of my favorite bits in this episode is the fight between Carolina and Texas, and the fact that the Blues and the Reds keep switching up the audio tracks. My favorite was the second one. The fact that Loco actually put it on shuffle, and then it went to the 14th chapter of the Half-Blood Prince. At least, that's what I'm thinking, because I said Horcruxes, Dumbledore was still alive. It's been a long time since I read the book. I haven't read the book since, it's been 9 years. And of course, we get Temple's first name. It's Mark. So his full name is Mark Temple. And for those of you who have said that Temple is not a new character, once again, I called it. I don't mean to be a douche, but I couldn't make it any more clear that these were brand new characters. And this must be years. This is years before Blood Gulch, because this is happening between seasons 9 and 10, which is pretty cool. It's like we now have an official time zone for the events of the Blues and Reds and when their lives just basically went down. And it's between seasons 9 and 10 for the Project Freelancer saga. So that's pretty cool. And so Mark, or Temple if you prefer, is about to shoot Biff's finger off, but he just can't do it because he's afraid because he just can't bring himself to do it. And we get the bombshell drop. Biff is going to be a father. Apparently Georgina is expecting Biff Jr. Now, it wasn't specified as to whether or not he knew whether or not it was a boy or a girl. I'm assuming boy, because then they got that whole, oh, I'm going to be a father, maybe a husband later on down the line. And then Carolina just drags Biff into the fight, gets gets him beat up, and Temple jumps onto Carolina to get her to stop beating up on him. She grabs his gun, shoots at Tex. Tex throws the flagpole at her, to which she deflects it, and it straight up, this was where I lost it. Like, just shock on my face, even though I knew it was coming. But Biff gets impaled right here, and into the wall behind him. And when Temple asks for help, Carolina shoves him out of the way and says, "This isn't about you." I'm like, Carolina, what? You absolute bitch. These are innocent these are innocent people that you have dragged into your fight. And now, because of the past, I don't blame Temple for hating Carolina and the other freelancers. I really don't. I think this is one of the best villains we've had because I care about this. And Tex is the one who pulled the stick out of Biff's chest and ultimately caused him to bleed to death, because people can get impaled by that, and it's very rare, but they can survive. So Biff could have survived, but Tex kind of ruined that possibility, and we just see the death of Biff. And then we cut back to current times, where Jax, the idiot, doesn't stop talking. Temple pulls out a gun and shoots him. Now, I'd like to point out, I didn't notice, I wasn't thinking about this when I was watching the episode the first time. So I've watched it like 2 more times after this. But Temple, I think his aim has improved. Like, he's gotten the drive to improve his aim, because he managed to hit Jax on first attempt. I think that the fight we had a few episodes back, his missing was on purpose, because then he hits perfectly, and then suddenly that plane goes down. Yeah, no, that's too convenient. At first, I thought that he was going to shoot Jax in the head, and apparently he just shot him in the leg, which, even then, that can get your heart pounding. And we learned that they found out at a freelancer facility, much like what we saw in Revelation, how they were cannon fodder. And now, the only question is, what are they going to do now? Because I got so invested in what we watched, to the point where I love these new characters now. I didn't like them when they were portrayed as good people, but the way they're being portrayed now, dude, these are some of the, well, Temple. Temple is one of the best villains. I don't really count the rest of the Reds and Blues, or Blues and Reds. I don't count the rest of the Blues and Reds, because, in a way, they're just henchmen. But Temple is probably one of my favorite villains on this show, because he's got the motivation. He used to be a good person, and now his motivation is made clear, and I just really want to see this like go even further. I want to and I kind of want to see Spencer come back, because I want them to take all of this to trial, like Carolina was saying, which I think would be interesting. I also want to meet this Georgina character. Man. This was an insane episode. I really don't know how to put it. I really don't. I love this episode. I found nothing wrong with it. The comedy was great. The action was great. The character development was great. And learning more about all these characters. The Biff death was handled so well and done so great. There is no other way to describe this episode. It was just great. Yeah, now that I think about it, as much as I loved episode 10, this is actually the best episode we've had all season. And one more little thing that I'd like to add. I love how they reference episode 1 with when they pulled the stick out of Biff and the blood just splatters all over Temple's his armor. It's a callback to that very moment. I want to see Temple's face at some point because he took off the helmet, and I do still want to see his face. I want to see what he looks like. Guys, my heart is still pounding from that episode. Oh. Like, the look on my face. I'm going to have to go back and take a look at it because, well, for 2 reasons. 1, I don't want to see any freeze-ups. And 2, I just got to see my reaction. I have to see it because I don't know how to put it. Altogether, I say this was the best episode of the season. I cannot think of anything better. What did you guys think of the episode? Let me know in the comment section down below. For those of you who haven't seen the episode and are wondering how I watch it, once again I emphasize this. There's a link in the description down below to sign up for Rooster Teeth First so you can watch the episode a week before it comes out on YouTube. And for those of you who are wanting to see clips or anything regarding it, I'm sorry, but you will not see it until next week. Because that's just how it goes, you know. Because I had a trollish comment the other day, and something, like, the one thing I remember was saying, you know, I didn't show one clip of the stuff. Well, Rooster Teeth is cool enough to let people like me, you know, react to their show, and even if I were to put up clips in this video, I'm pretty sure it would just get blocked or taken down. So, something else. Well, actually, no, I might save this for my, what was it again? My update video. I'm going to be doing an update video soon. I just don't know when. Be sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button as hard as you can. I cannot wait for the next episode because, holy crap. This episode, guys. I've been Kedrix, as always, people. Have an awesome day. Peace out, and I'll catch you next week.